Let's bring in Sean King, who is the Senior Vice President at Park Strategies, a New York business advisory firm that represented Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 2009 to 2012. He joins us now live from New York. Sean, good to have you on the show. So the talks have been described as direct and honest, but it doesn't discount from the fact that this is perhaps we're going through a time where tensions are extremely high, and I want to see what you think of the meetings between the two diplomats.
Well, I wasn't in the meeting, and no one's called me to brief on it, so I know what you know. I think it's good. We keep talking. Honest, open, frank conversations, always good. I just hope that we don't paper over our differences just to be friends. Conversation's good, but we shouldn't, deny who we are or what we believe in some kind of one world friendship. So keep talking, but stay honest.
What does the U.S. believe in? Because the signals that we're seeing from the United States is that this it is the end of the strategic ambiguity approach. I mean, because if anything, this is strategic clarity.
Not necessarily. What President Biden said, which I think is in line with general U.S. thinking these days, and Beijing, for its part, probably assumes we would intervene in the Taiwan contingency even before President Biden's comments. The only thing that would be true strategic clarity would be some kind of formal defense treaty like we had with Taipei until 1979. And we cannot sign a treaty or promise to defend an island whose government we don't formally recognize. So unless we were to reestablish formal relations with Taipei's Republic of China government, it's just words. So this is not strategic clarity. And also, let's remember the historical origin of strategic ambiguity. Back in 1979, you had a Taipei government that still claimed to retake the mainland. That strategic ambiguity was to let Chiang Kai-shek at the time know that if he started a war with the PRC, we weren't going to necessarily bail him out. So strategic ambiguity today is not what it originally was, and Biden's comments do not mean the end of it by any stretch.
Sean, I mean, you say it's just words. I mean, I want to sort of get your interpretation of how each side interprets these words, because for some, the one China policy that the U.S. adheres to could be different from the one China policy according to China.
Well, Beijing itself does not have a one China policy. It has a one China principle, which states that Taiwan is part of China and that the PRC is the only government for said China. Our one China policy, like many countries have, say we don't take a position on Taiwan's sovereignty. We acknowledge Beijing's claim to Taiwan, but we don't necessarily endorse it. So that's consistent, and we haven't changed from that since 1979. But saying we would defend Taiwan in the case of an unprovoked, which I think is what President Biden meant, and not necessarily unprecedented, although it would be unprecedented too, defend Taiwan in case of attack, I mean, that's pretty much common sense. I think the standard thinking has always been so long as Taipei itself did not provoke a conflict, the U.S. would intervene. So he's just saying out loud what I think quietly everyone's known for a while now.
Okay. Sean King, thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. I do appreciate your time and your analysis.